After playing the new season for a week now, time for my impressions when it comes to Skull and Bones Year 2, Season 2. And by the way, I'm curious about your thoughts, views, and opinions regarding Year 2, Season 2 of Skull and Bones, aka Oaths of War. What you like about it, what you don't like about it. Feel free and let me know below in the comment section. One thing that I think a lot of players are going to appreciate about this season of Skull and Bones is it caters to the veteran players because the new content is in World Tier 2 instead of World Tier 1. For example, the frigate mission you can only do in World Tier 2. It took me a quick minute on last Tuesday's live stream to sort that one out because I thought they would be available on World Tier 1 and World Tier 2, but no, it's exclusive to World Tier 2, so you have to go into World Tier 2 in order to do the frigate mission. And a lot of people are very excited about the fact that the frigate is now in the game, the first large ship that players can own. There is two ways you can go about getting the blueprints for the frigate. First off, you have to level up to 45 tiers in the Smugglers Pass in order to unlock it as a milestone reward. One thing that I noticed right off the bat since day one is that a lot of players, for some reason, already have the frigate. Did they grind through the Smugglers Pass? No. It's pretty obvious what most of them did, and to be honest, I don't blame them because we've been asking for large ships in Skull and Bones for a quick minute. They went to the gold store and they bought some gold, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing at the recording of this video before the start of the second week of challenges in Skull and Bones. I managed to get up to, level 15 in the Smuggler's Pass. So after I do the new weeklies, I will probably break down and buy this seasonal box for $25 US because it does come with 3,000 gold along with a unique hull color and the covetous nameplate for your ship. The sad reality and one of the cons of this season is it's going to be a very slow grind to get through the Smuggler's Pass, even if you're attempting to knock out the weekly progress as well as the seasonal progress. It's going to take a lot of players a quick minute to reach level 45 in order to get the blueprints for the frigate. So there's definitely a lot more players that are shelling out a few gold in order to level up the Smuggler's Pass to 45 in order to get the blueprint for the frigate. But at the end of the day, it's their money, just like it's my money, my choice, as to whether or not I ultimately decide to shell out a few shekels in order to get me closer to the goal of my own frigate. Now, the other event that is exclusive to World Tier 2 that's tied into the frigate is the new Wolf's Hollow Megafort, where you and a fleet of other players attack the Wolf's Hollow Megafort against the Dutch in order to get a few items, including deep iron, which will be necessary to build and upgrade your frigate. And for the record, I've enjoyed attacking this new Megafort. It's awesome to see all these players going in together, working for a common goal to take down this Dutch megafort and also crashing into each other because there's so many damn ships surrounding the megafort. But it's awesome to see so many players in Skull and Bones rallying together to take down this megafort. But obviously for selfish reasons, they want all the goodies that come with taking down the Wolf's Hollow megafort, including that deep iron along with the upgrade parts, ascension modules, masterwork kit, and of course the pieces of 8. Now, a couple of new features that I like when it comes to our ships includes these loadouts. So they've added loadouts for our ships. We still are capped at 40 ships in our fleet. Hopefully, eventually, Ubisoft Singapore will increase that number, especially since a lot of us have manufacturies and we have ships assigned to each one of those manufacturies. That number starts to go up very, very fast. But the Arsenal loadout, I like this because if I decide I want to create different Arsenal loadouts For my ships, I can just quickly toggle between the loadouts, and instead of having to painstakingly go and like add a new weapon or new furniture or new armor. So I like this. This is very time saving, but I really like it for the cosmetic loadout because I've already made some different cosmetic loadouts for my schooner, and I'll probably do the same thing for the frigate whenever I get the frigate, because the faction war is coming later on this season, which I will play and cover and do a separate impressions video of, by the way. But I'm already planning ahead. I've got my regular loadouts. I also have a loadout whenever I'm fighting for the French, as well as for the Dutch. So I am planning ahead in anticipation for the faction war. And you have several spots where you can just go crazy with the cosmetics, just like with the Arsenal loadout, and have some different drip. So you're in the mood to change the look of your ship, but you want to save it, and you want to be able to toggle between your Dutch look or your French look or your wolf look, like I have for this ship, or whatever else you wish to design cosmetically appealing for your vessels. You now can do it through the cosmetic loadout. Now let's talk about a new feature in the game that I'm on the fence about. I like the concept of transmogging the look of our weapons, but I wish that we had some free options when it comes to transmogging our weapons. At the very least, a based version of the cannons, demi-cannons, long guns, bombards, auxiliary weapons, etc. But the only transmog options we have at the moment are ones that are behind a paywall in the store. So if you want to transmog your various weapons with the limited options we have, all of them cost gold. And some of them, to be honest, don't look that good. This one looks okay, but I don't think I'm going to drop 630 gold to transmog this weapon, Ubisoft Singapore. There's also a bundle of weapons. I believe this is for the long gun, the cannon, demi-cannon, Revenant's Prize. This bundle will cost you 1,350 gold at a discount. Full price is 2,100 gold. I have no intention of paying 1,350 or 2,100 gold for these gun skins. Speaking of the Smugglers Pass, not only does it seem to be slower than previous Smuggler Passes, what else is new? But there's some pre-existing items that are already in the game that have been added to the Smuggler's Pass. Weapons specifically, like Little Grace 2. This is already in the game, along with the Infernal Maul. These are not new weapons, so why are they in the new Smuggler's Pass? On the flip side, it's nice that we finally have a lightning variant of a demi-cannon for us to add to our ships, especially for those of us that like to have a vessel with a lightning build. So now I want to talk about the new seasonal currency. Why do you keep changing the seasonal currency? We had the Cooper bars last season, and I still have like a small handful left in my warehouse. But for whatever rhyme or reason, Ubisoft Singapore, each season will continue to change the seasonal currency. Instead of just keeping it the same, just keep it Cooper bars going forward. That way, if you have any additional Cooper bars, they carry over and they can be used in the following season. So this time we have guild marks, which you can spend on a variety of things. If you want deep iron, you can buy deep iron here, but I'd highly recommend you grind the new Megafort instead to get the deep iron, along with a few other items. There's another furniture, some new armor, some new weapons. I don't know if these are any good or not. I'm sure people will test these and let us know one way or the other. There's also some new cosmetics you can get with the guild marks and some previous stuff as well. But once again, I just don't see the point in them continuing to change the seasonal currency. I would just keep it the same going forward. The Cooper bars were perfectly fine. They should just carried it over from season to season. But despite my criticisms, I want to end this impressions of Year 2, Season 2 of Skull and Bones on a positive note. For the first time, our manufactories did not reset. The manufactories we got in Year 2, Season 1 carry over to Year 2, Season 2 and going forward throughout the rest of Year 2. And that's something I'm very happy about, because that means that those of us that weren't really bothering to grind really hard with the manufactories, because we knew that at the end of the season we'd lose them anyways, now we have motivation to not only keep the manufactories that we got in the previous season, we also can continue to expand our Helm Empire, which is obviously what I've done with 17 out of 34 manufactories. I have no intention of going like full 34 because, once again, the ship issue, I only have 40 slots for my fleet of ships, and that's something I hope that eventually gets upgraded. But at the moment, I'm pretty content with 17 out of 34. Maybe eventually I'll bump that number up to maybe 20 out of 34. But I don't think I'll go any further than that. But I like the fact that the manufactories no longer reset from one season to the next. Another major positive regarding this season is the fact that more players are into Skull and Bones now because of the free weekend that just occurred and the deep discount for Skull and Bones that's, I believe, ongoing. I couldn't find a deadline, like a final day of the discounts, but last I checked, the discounts are still up and they're 80% off. You can get the premium edition of Skull and Bones for $14 US, which in my opinion is a pretty good deal. But overall, my impressions of Year 2, Season 2 of Skull and Bones, mostly positive with a few exceptions. I think that Ubisoft Singapore continues to take this game in the right direction. And any of those microtransactions that we take issue with, I don't blame on Ubisoft Singapore. I think that goes all the way to the top of Ubisoft themselves because they kind of sort of have a habit of nickel and diming their games when it comes to cosmetics, currencies, and microtransactions. What else is new? And at the same time, the fact that players do buy the cosmetics and they did buy the smuggler's marks in order to get the frigate, that is a financial boon for Ubisoft and hopefully encourages them to continue keeping the live service going for Skull and Bones throughout Year 2 and hopefully Year 3 and beyond. Your thoughts, views, and opinions regarding Year 2, Season 2 of Skull and Bones, The Oaths of War, welcome, as always, below in the comments section.